Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today is our last installment of the Floral Festival for this year. We've been on quite a journey the last 3 or 4 months, painting flowers and kind of looking more closely at the structure and how to draw them, how to paint them and things like that. And in this episode, or in this video, we're looking more at the kind of landscape as a whole, and this kind of all started with the magnolia tree, and I just got a lot of requests to paint the magnolia, so we did that, and then the flowers just kept coming, so we turned it into a whole summer floral festival. So as you can see here, I'm kind of flipping through, we've done different mediums. We have worked on it. We started with the magnolias, and then I actually thought this would be the second video. So I thought we were just going to paint the magnolias sort of close up and then paint the trees, and this would be the second video, and then that would be kind of it. And the flowers kept coming, so we've been, still painting. But what's happened kind of is we started with the magnolias and these beautiful pink trees in spring, and as summer has kind of come and the deep kind of lush greens of the trees have also come, you kind of see that through this video. So we don't just kind of finish it with these pink trees, and you can kind of see the sparse branches around it where the other trees still hadn't gotten in their green leaves yet. So every day almost for 2 weeks while the magnolia trees were in, I either painted the tree or the magnolia flowers up close. So we've seen sort of the up close things, and in this video we'll see some of the footage of me kind of painting the tree. So here I was blocking in kind of the branches and just thinking about that. There's Rosie, and you'll see kind of that finished piece, which I didn't really love, and you'll see that I kept working on that. So that's the benefit of going back and kind of re-looking at it several times. I liked going back and looking at, you can see here, this is the pencil case. There's a whole video about this, and often I would try and take that, and I would just mostly use that for kind of quick pencil sketches. So you can see here, this was one of the days where I started using pastels in the handbook sketchbook. So I'll link all the sketchbooks that I use, but I really began to love this paper. It's the one with the black kind of linen cloth, book cloth cover. And I loved this paper. This is the Strathmore drawing paper, I think, in this. And it just takes the pastel really quite beautifully. And so, so one of the days I did one of those, another day I did another one, and I really liked seeing the lighting change and kind of the feeling and the mood that made in the piece. And then this was a day when I took Rosie out and we just did a little quick plein air sketch. So again, just small snippets of a sketch. So I wouldn't take more than 5, 10 or 15 minutes for these sketches. This was a time when Millie, our Bernese mountain dog, was quite little still. So we'd gotten her halfway through December. She was, I think, nearly 16 weeks old. And she was quite a... So if you see a lot of the Bernese puppies on Instagram or something, they're very lethargic. She, I think, thinks she's part border collie. So we were going on really long walks from 6 till 10 in the mornings, and we'd come inside for like 20 minutes twice, or, you know, yeah, and have like a little break, have some treats, and I would quickly sketch something that we had kind of seen on the walk, because I couldn't really do it with her. She was, yeah, quite a handful. So, but one of the things, and you can see like this was the kind of pastel box I put together, and I think there's a whole video on this, and as I kind of went through this process, I was adding more and more pastels to it. So yeah, and then also you guys had, so many of you have recommended this Clairefontaine pastel mat, so I got some of this in these kind of landscapey colors, and also I really did enjoy this as well. So one of the things that I enjoyed about this whole process, and the fact that I kind of wasn't too invested in these pieces, it wasn't too much pressure, but you know, and because I had to be doing something else in 15 or 20 minutes, I knew I had a limited time, so I didn't procrastinate, I didn't second guess or overthink anything. I just kind of made the marks, and you can see here kind of again like the different the same trees kind of on different days, and the difference the light made, the difference the color palette kind of that made to the color palette. And the book on the left is the Indigo Artways book, I think. So, and you'll see here kind of a very similar kind of the tree branches, the top of these tree branches, and one was done on one day and one on a different day where the more the sun was coming in. But I was really enjoying just as well just looking at these different kind of how to use mediums. So I was using this not just as kind of a sketching the tree, but also kind of learning about different mediums. And so I showed this book, we used this in the eclipse painting video, and I think it's in that video that I show that I had been using like a pastel ground to kind of put on the pages there. You can see on the right here I have kind of yeah, I've coloured that like just with watercolor, kind of given it like tone to the paper. But you'll see here like on the right, and again like this is a cloud study I didn't get to finish because of Millie, but I started using this kind of pastel ground, and then I realized kind of through this process, and yeah, again here's another one on the pastel ground, but I realized through this process that I actually really love using the pastels on this paper without any ground. So it kind of picks up the cotton, and like so a lot of the ones that you'll see in here are actually on the pastel ground, and I kept feeling like, so this is what it looks like with no pastel on it, but I kept feeling like, you know, I should put it on there. And then one of the days I think I had the other book which didn't have any ground in it, and I was going to use watercolors, but then I just ended up I really wanted to kind of use the colors in the pastels, and so I just put them in the book because that's kind of what I had. And then I realized that I really loved the pastels on that paper, and so it's this one here, so the pastels are just straight onto the cotton, and I really loved the texture in that. So So the other thing I did was put together a box of these water-soluble oil paints. So you can see here, this was just a tin of these biscuits, and then I have just reused the box for the for these oil paints. So these are the Schminker Norma Blue, I think, water-soluble ones. So they don't have a smell, and I really enjoy them as an oil paint, so I wanted to put these in, but the video was getting so long, so we're going to do the oil painting in just its whole own other video. So yeah, you can see there, like I've got Millie, I've got the pastels, I've got my watercolors, and then it was just kind of quite easier to do the pastels and kind of know that nothing was gonna be like needing to dry or anything like that. I could stop and start if I needed to. I could just get that done quite easily with her. But it's in like working in like that and kind of trying to figure things out that you actually can find little kind of treasures of, you know, ways to use things. You can see she's quite interested in everything. Kind of ways to use things. So, and also just even having this palette there, even though I didn't use it, I was really quite inspired like by the colors and just the way that the light was hitting everything. It was a really beautiful afternoon. Yeah, so okay, so this is the Handbook Journal Co. Book that I was talking about, and it's got kind of cream paper in it. You can see I've just got pencil swatches there on the back cover. But this one I started last year and I just was really enjoying using it more for sketching. You can see I tried kind of water on the front cover and I didn't love how the paper was bubbling. So I've just been using it for like more pencil sketches and things like that. And also this is my perpetual journal, which you can see here that now I want to actually come back and use more pastel and kind of just finish those off. So we'll do a video at the end of the year on that. But that was last December with the pastel and fineliner. And then kind of I started this whole portion for this year, but often there were like flowers on my desk or flowers on the table, and I would just take pastels and a pastel brush, and I was just kind of like painting over the shadow that would fall on the book. So the flowers were kind of behind the book and the shadow would fall, and I was just kind of adding that in and just enjoying that. You can see like some of the pages are more like scribbles, just thinking about ideas, thinking about kind of compositional ideas. This one is a sketch of an orchid that again I didn't finish. I want to go back in and kind of actually finish this off with some pastels and coloured pencils. Here I am just swatching pastels, just kind of looking at the colours on the paper. And that was just a little, bit of something. And again, some more like pastel swatches. So again, these were all done around this time in spring. So like some mornings I might have had something else to do and I just quickly scribbled down some thoughts. Or sometimes I would have, just no time, but I would just quickly swatch out some of the colours. This was like a very quick sketch of this tree, but again, like I was really enjoying just looking at the colours. Like this morning was very sunny and bright, and so the colours were just very vibrant, and I liked kind of being able to kind of get that movement in. This was a day we were sketching the actual flowers, and then this was another day, and you'll see some footage of this in a minute, where it was raining, and so the mood was a lot softer, a lot gentler, and so the colours reflected that. The branches were almost black on the tree because of the rain, and then the blossoms, like the magnolias, looked almost white. So, And this is why artists will often create a series, because there are so many ways to kind of look at and capture the same subject. So here, I'll talk a little bit more about the painting on the left in a minute, but that's kind of, again, like a whole different colour palette, kind of a summing up of a lot of different things. So I also was going to paint these beautiful daffodils, but I think we'll do that to kick off the Floral Festival next year. They're one of the first flowers that does bloom. So yeah, I think we'll do that next year. You could see here some little white blossoms. These were on a serviceberry tree, I think. So yeah, you can see here this beautiful tree, and as we were walking around, like Millie would be obviously like sniffing for chipmunks and squirrels, and I was looking at the structure of the tree and how the branches fell. Like you can see here the kind of these magnolias just dotting the sky there, like they're kind of falling softly off the branches, and yeah, all the petals on the ground, and just the whole beauty of the scene, and thinking about what colors would I use to depict it. And so one of the trees had like more kind of top heavy branches, and this was the one I was looking at here, and kind of trying to think my way through how the branches kind of went in between the blossoms. There would be like a whole grouping of blossoms and then like a branch. This was the one that we started in the beginning, and then I was just doing the branches, and I really liked the back tree, but I really didn't like the colouring and the soft colouring, but I didn't really like the front tree, how that worked out. So then I did this one on another day, and then kind of some of that is kind of, I took like some of the colouring and some of the branches and into this painting here. So this is an interesting new material that I used for this painting, and I'll kind of show you a little bit of that, so you can kind of see the three different like completely different colorings, completely different ways that sort of came about. But this one here is on this Stonehenge Aqua. It's like an aluminium or aluminum artist panel. So it's their watercolor paper, but they've stuck it to this backing so that it's strong and kind of going to last. And so I used this. I wanted to kind of try this out. So I got, this one's an 8x10 one. So this might be something that you're interested in, exploring a little bit more as well. And you can see there that I used the masking fluid to kind of mask out a little like an ironwork, lacework picnic table. And then I have just started putting the tree in there. You can see that I'm using some of the textured like browns in the trunk. This one's the green leaf and blueberry. It's one of their specialty colours, the violet earth French. I'm not sure. I'll try and link it below. But I talk about these quite a lot, and this is the reason why I love the ones with the grains in them, because it gives that little bit extra to the painting. This is their green leaf and blueberry French earth as well. So you're kind of getting a little bit of that sumptuous kind of feeling into the painting, a little bit of, and then even in the sky there I've used, so that was one of my own ones. It's the kyanite, and it gives the sky a little bit of sparkle. So the sky isn't textured like that, but I just like the fact that I can put that on there and it kind of catches the eye, and it has that kind of grey blue colour. So from these kind of sketches, and I wanted to create some larger kind of finished pieces. I wanted to create one large one of like the actual close-up magnolia branches and one of quite a large kind of tree. And I didn't end up having time for that this year, but maybe next year. But yeah, so you can see here, like this is one of the sketchbooks we've been working in, and this was one of the kind of days that what were we working on? Different flowers. So, and this is the magnolias with the a collage we did. This is a magnolia. This page again like isn't finished, but I started this one. This is in oil pastels, and I really just love the way the oil pastels kind of blend together. And yeah, so probably need to finish some of these. But and again, this was another one where I had a timer on for food, and I only had like 7 minutes or something, and I thought, great, I will just, I'd been thinking about this and kind of putting it off, and I just thought I can just quickly try it and get it done. And so yeah, that's a good way to kind of do something if you've been kind of putting something off and overthinking it. Just if you only have a little bit of time, just try it, just and then there's not that kind of overthinking. And yeah, this was another page where we had been working hard on the flowers and drawing them, and then I just kind of had to play. And then this piece here is as the you can see here, like as the trees kind of all got their leaves, and the change that made. And so just thinking about this, and this wouldn't have been in this video if I had have just done this in spring. So I really think hopefully it helps to kind of round out this floral festival. And kind of like you can see here that I had the idea of like putting these garlands in the trees, and also this umbrella with the picnic table, and kind of trying to bring some of that feeling like it's just usually like me and Millie just walking around in the mornings, but it's really such a nice feeling. And like, how do you bring that in and kind of invite people into the painting to also enjoy that? So I just kind of did some little step by step so you can kind of see how I started the painting there. And again, this is another quick one that is a thought that can hopefully at some point be kind of translated into a finished painting. You can see here as well, like I'm kind of dappling on these leaves, and yeah. Then the next thing that we work on here, so this is one that you've already kind of seen the finished painting of, but this is just a sketch again of this scene. So I think I'll show you the finished painting here, but this little sketch is quite a lot lighter than the finished painting, and I like this painting, but I also want to kind of do a version of it where it's the finished version is as light as the bottom one, which that's actually more like the underlayer. So I've got to think about like doing the underlayer even lighter on the first go around. Anyway, so there's just, it's like interesting different things to kind of think through, problems to solve. Hopefully that makes sense. Like this one, is lighter, and so but it's almost like almost like the petticoat, and then but I want that to be the finished painting. So yeah, we also did a whole video on the transparent flowers. And then this page here, so we will do a swatch of these little pastel haul in a minute, and you can see them kind of there in that box, but I wanted to kind of try them out, and also continuing to think about this idea of the floral festival. And also where we live, there's a lot of like fairs in summer, so you'll kind of be driving along the highway and you'll catch glimpses of little circus tents and fairs, and they're always kind of got trees around them, so you only kind of half see them. So I was thinking about that, but it's such a nice thing to see them and to see the lights and the bright colors. So I was thinking about that kind of in this composition, and again, this was just a quick one, and I was sort of using these new colors and just thinking about like what would it look like if there was this kind of tent behind this bush. So again, like this is something I could develop further and like put a little bit of kind of peeking into the tent, maybe some acrobats or something going on in there. And I was looking at like, I wanted to put kind of some of this light, like diffused kind of light around, and I just happened to have that kind of more chartreuse colored pastel there, so I was just using that. But so this is the little haul, and this was actually going to be its own little video kind of in between week one, and I never ended up putting it on there, so we will look at this kind of as part of this. It's just a few pastels, and I really enjoy the Illuminates pastels because I can use them with water. They blend out really nicely, so I can keep layering them, and so I really enjoy them for that. I do have another haul video coming. It'll either be the next video or the one after that, I think. So with some really nice different pastels as well, and some interesting ones that you can like put on your Christmas wish list. So these are, let's see, just a few, and I'll just kind of let you watch the swatches here. So this is a long video. I hope you're still with me. So anyway, this is kind of how I like to use a pastel. So I have that whole pastel playlist. I think it's only probably less than 10 videos, but kind of showing you how I use pastels and how I'll add water to them as well, and kind of then I might layer them on top of each other and mix them, and I don't know, just I quite like using them like that. But not all pastels can be used with water like this, so I really like these for that. I really like the Diane Townsend ones and the La Maison ones. So yeah, there'll be some really nice La Maison ones in the haul in the next video or two. And you can see as well that sometimes, like this one, when you add the water, it will change the color of the pastels. So that may be something that you don't want. But again, it's quite nice when you can let those dry and then go back over them and kind of keep layering them as well. Okay, so this is the A5 size of the handbook journal, and it's like a smaller, more portable one, and I use this one for like sketches and again swatches, but I've been using this for like drawing with a fineliner, and yeah, also just like swatching out materials and things. This was kind of the first time that I just swatched them out, and yeah, I like little kind of pencil sketches. So it's nice to have kind of a little sketchbook kind of dedicated to just sketching, so that you know kind of when you open that up, you don't have to worry about kind of this or that or color. It's just dedicated to looking at, this was one little flower, and then I just kept turning it and sketching a different view of it. So in this book, I've mostly been using this Copic multiliner. It's the warm grey in the 0.1, and if you can get a thicker one up to a 0.5, I think, and you can get the thinner 0.05, but I found that that was a little bit light. So yeah, these were kind of like the three journals the three sketchbooks I was kind of using at this time. And let's see, so you can see like I've put like these little boxes of pastels here, so that I can grab one of these and just take it out. If I'm working more on the clouds, I've got like the blue ones there. More of like flowers, I've got like the other kind of purple and pink ones. So these pastels weren't new, but this was kind of a new little setup, and I think I showed in the beginning of the video or somewhere, that there was in that Indigo cotton paper sketchbook, there's like a cloud study, and I took that sketchbook and this little box and just went out and kind of started that again. I think that was one I didn't quite finish, but yeah, it's quite nice to just have like a little box of supplies, and you can just grab that and a sketchbook and kind of off you go. So we've got just a couple of last sketches, and some of these are some of my favorites, and we will be doing some kind of more sketchbook flip throughs soon. So this is kind of, we've got these three Arches sketchbooks here, and they've all been kind of, I think I've shown a flip through of one of them, but I've completed or almost completed two more since then. And yeah, I have one from last year that I haven't done a flip through of as well, so we'll do these kind of all in a video as well. But this is the spring and summer one, and you can see that it goes from these kind of really bright kind of spring greens, this kind of softer feeling, the bare branches still in the background, and then as it progresses on, you get to this really deep foliage and these like kind of deep emerald greens. And this was one that I did outside, and just quite a quick one. And yeah, then you can see here like the kind of some mornings you get this really pretty kind of apricot kind of glow come through the trees. And so I was thinking about that, and then I did this one here. I actually did this after we'd come in one morning, and yeah. So this one was more thinking about the azalea bush, and we painted the azaleas close up, but again, like I wanted to do kind of more of a landscape version of it. And then you can see that I put the umbrella in there again, thinking about this idea of the festival. And let's see, so the last sketchbook that I wanted to show that I haven't shown you, this sketch as well. This was another one that I kind of had, and then I was working on this little, so this was like kind of from an antique wallpaper, and the wallpaper was just in like white and one other color, but I was just kind of sketching out and painting that. And then yeah, this was another kind of version where I was thinking about kind of just the top of this circus tent kind of peeping through the trees there and the pink trees. And this is something kind of secretive that I'm working on that I'll show you soon. And then this is Millie on one of the really hot days. She would always be like going underneath the hedge, and she's taking she has these little bears and she just loves them. There's quite a few of them just around town. She just grabs one and she'll play with it for quite a while. So anyway, I hope you have had a really lovely week, and I will see you soon. Bye.